Association, Philippine Sports Commission, and Smart Araneta Coliseum. Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is sanctioned by the IBA Pro Intercontinental Middleweight title. IBA President, Mr. Umar Kremlev. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighter fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 159.1 pounds. He has a record of 29 wins, 4 losses, 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Nashville, Tennessee, USA. Ladies and gentlemen, Sena Agbeko. Agbeko. Right across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 159.1 pounds. He has a record of 16 wins, no loss. 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Moscow, Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, Vadim Tukov. Judges at ringside, Virgilio Garcia, Elmo Coloma, and Gregorio Ortega. Third man in the ring, referee Elmer Castillas. 8 rounds of professional boxing.
Gentlemen, I want a clean and good fight. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Okay, that's gloves. Good luck, Macron.
We're set for our next bout. It's Tukov from Russia up against Agbeko, fighting out of the United States.
Corner.
If you look at their ring records, you'd think that Agbeko has a big advantage in experience with 33 fights under his belt compared to 16 for Tukov. But you look at the amateur record of Tukov, he went 41-19 as an amateur before turning pro. So he's got a lot of experience as well. Counting from his amateur experience from 2015 to 2020. Tukov going right to work. He is the reigning WBA international and gold middleweight champion. And what's at stake in this fight is the IBA Professional Intercontinental Middleweight Championship.
Another one of our featured fights here among the 13 bouts that we have prepared for each and every one of you.
Well, the betting is this fight will not go the distance. You look at the record of Agbeko with 23 knockouts and 29 wins. Tukov with 7 knockouts and 16 wins. And in Agbeko's last fight, he scored a scintillating first-round knockout over Pierre Williams. That was in November of last year in Sioux City, Nebraska.
As expected, a bit of a feeling round here for both. Pressing forward is Tukov.
And Tukov, everything starts with that left jab. Nice defense for Tukov as he bent down, forcing that miss from Agbeko. Right hand exploding. Coming from Tukov.
Both fighters just trying to size each other up. Tukov a little bit with more of the aggressor as we enter the final minute of round number 1.
He's certainly the busier fighter. Agbeko's hardly throwing any punches. That time missing with a left hand. Tukov moving away from harm's way. Coming forward with 2 left jabs. And then the overhand right that was blocked by Agbeko. No No meaningful connection from either fighter so far in this round. Trying that double left jab is Tukov.
10 seconds.
Drawing attention from Agbeko to anticipate the left jab so we can uncork and unload that right hand.
Very difficult to score that first round, Kenito.
Well, you'd have to give it to Tukov because of his right. What you notice about Agbeko is his impressive physique. He's ripped. I look at the definition of his muscles and his abs. But here's a replay of what happened in the previous round. And that right hand connected. And a quick left hand in combination. So good movement on the part of Tukov. Throwing the
Seconds up.
immediately, finding the opening to throw his left. You know, that's the mark of a good amateur fighter in the Olympics. That's what they like to do. Score a lot of points with clean shots. Tukov is throwing a lot of that left jab, but he's not finding the mark.
I have him.
So he's throwing that left jab, but he's not finding anything except air.
Is it maybe just to keep Agbeko at bay?
Maybe it's to distract him, yes. Because I think his ultimate goal is to unload that right hand. So he's throwing that left. It's not finding the mark. Now there's some good movement on Tukov. There's that right hand. That's what he wants to throw, that big right hand. Agbeko now beginning to unload.
Finally, everybody has been waiting for that one. Trying to stay busy.
Agbeko looking very dangerous, even if he hasn't been throwing too many punches so far. Look at his defense. Hands held high, cover his face, protect his upstairs.
Halfway through round number 2. Not as much action as compared to what we've seen in the previous matches.
Good job of circling his opponent, just making it difficult for Agbeko to find a standing target. Again, throwing that left jab. Some connecting, some not. But keeping Agbeko occupied. Here's Agbeko unloading that left hand.
Might have been his best connection, though it wasn't exactly the cleanest of shots.
Agbeko turned from 2011. While Tukov turned from 2020. Now note that even as Agbeko won his last fight by a first round knockout, he had lost his 2 previous fights by knockout. This is a guy who likes to take chances. And Agbeko, if he tried to score a knockout himself, he'll leave himself open, which is the reason why he lost those 2 previous fights before his last win by knockout.
10 seconds.
But his record of 23 knockouts and 29 wins, that's impressive. End of round number 2. Pro, he was to a Russian, as we mentioned, which is why this is a little meaningful for him because he's out for revenge. He lost to a Russian in his first loss in his career. Wants to be able to, that was a big left hand that he scored. Saw that in the replay. And he struck Tukov straight on the face.
Seconds up.
And still, Agbeko refusing to sit on his stool, standing up.
Okay. Box.
We enter now round number 3.
And back to the left jab action coming from Tukov. And then circling. Away from the left hand. Agbeko. Agbeko a little more aggressive, a little busier to start this round. He hadn't been too active in the previous 3 rounds, Anthony. I'm surprised.
Break! Stop punching, stop punching.
Maybe that connection that he had late in round number 2
The big left hand.
has spurred him on here.
Break! Stop punching.
You can hear his corner telling him you need to be able to fight. Just might have lost those first 2 rounds.
Oh,
He's not letting his hands go. And that's a factor. For Agbeko, he's got to earn the respect of Tukov. A big overhand right coming from Tukov. It might have stunned Agbeko. Agbeko scoring with the right hand in retaliation. Now Tukov again moving out. Tukov getting smacked
Stop punching, break!
by the right hand.
Stop punching, okay?
Back to the jab once again. It's Tukov. That has been his main weapon. Despite the fact that, as Kenito's been mentioning,
Stop punching.
it really hasn't been connecting.
Okay.
It looks like Agbeko is going to time his assault now, anticipating that jab coming from Tukov. Once that jab comes in, Agbeko is going to try to move in to counter that jab.
Under 45 seconds here in the 3rd round.
Agbeko is just not active enough. He's throwing away a lot of those rounds. Missing that time. It was Agbeko.
Well, his corner has been telling him to be more active, and he hasn't. Misses there.
Break! Stop punching, Okay, last 10 seconds. Box! Right.
So far, a lot more action coming from Tukov. He might have just gotten that round.
You know, Anthony, I can't figure it out. His attacks have been very inconsistent and irregular. Here's Tukov. Got that punch coming from Agbeko. Agbeko almost connecting solidly with the right hand on the move. I'm sure his cornerman telling him, look, this is scheduled for 8. We're not going 10 rounds. You've got to make your move now. Round number 4. Will Agbeko finally break out?
Now he's trying to press the action a little bit more. That's a good sign.
And Tukov coming right back with those jabs. And this time finding the mark because Agbeko's coming closer. Once he comes closer, he'll be an easier target for the jabs that Tukov was missing earlier on.
That stopped the forward progress here of Tukov.
But Agbeko's now fighting back a little more aggressively than previously. Tukov is so disciplined with that left jab. Now he pokes it straight to the midsection of Agbeko.
Now starting to become a little busier is Agbeko. He needs to really pick up the pace.
Tukov has scored with the right hand.
Halfway gone here in round number 4.
Right uppercut throws by Agbeko. Tukov trying to break down that defense of Agbeko. Now Agbeko's left hand is down. Tukov can catch him with the right hand. The left arm of Agbeko is down. He's not protecting his right side. Rather his left side. Not protecting himself from the right hand of Tukov very active, moving around.
Talking about activity, that's exactly what the corner of Agbeko wants him to do, but he's not.
Now he's being turned around by Tukov. Tukov is just circling around Agbeko. Agbeko's just following his tracks. So instead of Agbeko initiating the action, he's being forced to fight defensively or reacting to the movements of Tukov.
Final seconds here. Clearly the round here of Tukov. And again, pull the trigger, Kenito. Is Sena Agbeko.
The right hand connecting that time for Tukov, but on his way back, Agbeko was able to throw a right hand. And that's a unique talent of a fighter. If you're stepping back and still you're able to throw and connect.
This is round number 5 of a scheduled 8.
And Tukov starting off again. With that left jab. He's dictating the tempo with that jab. Even if he's not throwing that right hand consistently, he's able to control the action with that left jab. Throw off Agbeko. Small left jab.
Sena looks like he's trying to be a little bit more aggressive here.
But the tactic of Tukov is of turning him around. Makes it difficult for Agbeko to square up and throw the punch that he wants.
That looked like a little bit of a low blow. Tukov says he's good to go. Doesn't need any seconds to rest.
Right hand's going by Tukov that time. That tactic of making your opponent turn around, that's something that Manny Pacquiao did so brilliantly. Not so brilliantly because he hasn't retired. He's still fighting. When you get your opponent to turn around, then you're able to find an angle for him to throw a shot. That's what Tukov is doing to Agbeko, which is the reason why Agbeko can't seem to get his offense on track consistently. He's being turned around. See, that's the point. Tukov is moving right and then left, and he's turning Agbeko around, so Agbeko doesn't have the foot position to throw a good punch.
Another solid round here for Vadim Tukov. It's not overpowering, but it's getting the job done.
I haven't seen Tukov hurt Agbeko yet in this fight.
Well, like a good amateur, he's scoring, Kenito.
Yes, he is. He is scoring with that jab. And then follows it up with a right to the body. And then a left to the head. So it's an avalanche of blows. It's the volume punching of Tukov that's keeping him ahead.
And that should be giving him a sizable sizable lead here.
But what makes Agbeko dangerous is that he has a one punch. Tukov could go down. And he shows it. He's not even sitting down.
But the big question, Cunito, is why isn't he throwing more punches?
And why doesn't he seem interested to win this fight? That's the big question. I think he can show a lot more than what he's shown so far. I mean, with that kind of body, that's impressive.
Well,
If I were Tukov, I'd be intimidated.
Well, sometimes though, with those big muscles, what happens is you get fatigued early.
And missing badly was Agbeko that time. So we're round number 6 now, we're scheduled for 8. Crowd roars, reaction to what they're watching inside the ring. Agbeko's actually allowing Tukov to dictate. Look at the way Tukov moves around the ring. Turning Agbeko around. Taking away his offensive rhythm.
Looks like Agbeko is looking for, an opening. But since that opening is not coming and presenting itself, he doesn't want to punch. But sometimes you gotta make those openings happen.
That's right, but he's being turned around. Tukov is connecting. Right now, this is a great boxing lesson that Tukov is administering. The way this fight is playing out, Agbeko has no clue how to fight Tukov.
Well, he walked into that jab. Now he's starting to throw. And he connected. A minute remaining here. Round number 6.
And once more, that left hand of Agbeko is down, leaving himself wide open for the right hand. Oh, that time, an overhand right by Agbeko. Not connected, but just one punch.
And he's not following it up.
Exactly. And I don't think you can take out Tukov with one punch. You need to wear him down.
It seemed like Agbeko was happy with the connection and then he just stopped in his tracks.
Right. Here's Tukov again, making a punching bag out of his opponent. And you would think that with Agbeko's body, he would try to bully his way around the ring, but it's not happening. Agbeko now with both arms down.
He connected with the left there though to end that round. But that's the activity that his corner wants. But
Needs to. There's not a mark on his face. His right hand scored. Beautiful right hand scored by Agbeko, but not enough to bring down Tukov. Tukov on the run. Agbeko scoring, but not enough to win that round. His assaults have been sporadic. His connections have been very limited.
let's see if he can pick up the pace here. He has not done so in the first 6 rounds.
Stop.
He has 2 more rounds to go. Let's do state. Our cameramen are doing excellent work. They're showing these close-ups, and they give the viewers a clear sight of what's going on inside that ring. Great camera work.
Ready? Box!
Now back to the action. 30 seconds into this is Sena.
Can he do enough?
Stop punching, stop punching. Quick.
First the time. My feeling is the only way Agbeko could win is by a knockout. By the way, we were talking about the camera angles. Gotta tip our hat off to our director, Omar Santiago. The best in the business.
Quick. Stop punching.
Two left jabs from Tukov and then the right hand. No retaliation, no counter, no answer from Agbeko.
He's just standing there, Kinito. Which is quite surprising.
I would think that he would roughhouse Tukov. Considering Tukov's amateur background, he's not used to roughhousing. Abeko's not resorting to any kind of bullying tactics.
Again, there's just no fight back whatsoever. There, he's finally fighting.
Missed badly with the right hand.
Swing your elbow.
But at least he's throwing, Kinito.
Quick. Stop punching.
I hate to use the word intimidated, but is he intimidated here by the presence of Tukov?
I don't know if it's jet lag, but as he flew in from the U.S., Tukov also had the same situation. He also flew in from Russia.
Correct.
Go.
This is not the fight I expected out of Sena.
Tukov is just a straight masterclass at this stage. 10 second round sounded.
Quick.
See the end of round number 7. Then one more round for Agbeko to show what he's got. It is very rare. There's Tukov. He is the reigning WBA. Abdul Kakonon. Some slow-mo action from the previous round. Tukov penetrating that defense so easily with that left jab. You know, earlier in this fight we were mentioning, Anthony, how somehow Tukov couldn't find the range with his left jab. He just kept flicking away at his opponent but wasn't landing. But he was able to adjust his distance. And then he started to connect consistently with the left jab.
Now there's the activity that everybody's been waiting for.
He's missing
From Agbeko.
Missing badly. Just doesn't have his rhythm. Tukov took away his rhythm.
And now suddenly, looks like he might have caught a second wind somewhat. Talking about Agbeko.
Can't be too careful. Agbeko has knockout power. And if Tukov tastes the fury of the punches of Agbeko, he might go down.
A minute gone here in our final round.
Big right hand to the midsection of Tukov.
And it looked like Tukov felt that one. Kinito.
I thought so too. But Agbeko's not pressing the attack. It's still Tukov on top of the situation. Agbeko's not roughhousing, he's not bullying. He's throwing one punch at a time. No combinations, no follow-ups. Very listless performance. I don't think I gave him a single round in this fight.
Well, how can you give somebody who isn't punching any points? They were very few and far between. As we enter the final minute of round number 8.
Stop punching. Okay. Box.
Tukov to wail away at Agbeko.
This is supposed to be one of the more explosive of fights here in the middleweight division.
10 seconds.
10 second clapper has sounded. It's going to be a walk in the park here for Tukov.
Stop.
The end of the fight. And they embrace Tukov a clear winner in this fight. Agbeko raising his arm.
Well, he knows he's won this fight. That's for certain. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors. We've got the Philippine Sports Commission. The introduction of round number 8.
Shot to the body by Agbeko. Shot to the head by Tukov. And then another shot to the body there by Agbeko. Just didn't do enough. For some reason,
The ratio is 5-1 in favor of Tukov.
that sequence you saw, the elbow of Agbeko hitting the chin of Tukov.
And IBA Supervisor Maxim Sertikovte to award this championship belt to the winner.
It looks like Sena Agbeko knows what the result is going to be.
You know, could be a case of ring rust. Maybe a little out of boxing condition. Good physical shape, as you can see from his muscles, his physical specimen. But his last fight was in November of 2024. That's almost a year ago. And maybe that long layoff might have affected him.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we have a winner. We go to the scorecards. Judge Ortega scored it 79-73. Judge Garcia scored it 78-74. Judge Coloma scored it 78-74. Winner by unanimous decision, IBA Pro Intercontinental Middleweight Champion, ladies and gentlemen, Vadim Tukov.
Tukov has won this fight. I'm actually surprised that the scoring was a little close. I thought it was a walkaway. Now he wears the IBA Pro belt. Intercontinental Championship belt of the IBA. Remember, turned pro actually 9 years after. All smiles, boxing brilliantly, and running away with that position. He's got a nice boyish smile. As a professional, Brian Chavez. Let's recap the